Welcome to Study Live. Today we will be quick revising Chemistry Paper 1 Chapter Chemical Kinetics. To start with this, let us have introduction of rate of reaction. Here, rate exactly means speed of reaction, isn't it? That we will be discussing how slow or how fast the reaction is proceeding. For that reason, let us assume two different reactions, that is titration, that is acid base neutralization reaction, and second we will consider is conversion of milk to curd. Okay. The first reaction somewhat gets completed within a stipulated time. We will assume that it completes in 10 minutes. Whereas milk to curd conversion requires more than 30 minutes or 45 minutes or 60 minutes. For example, more than an hour. So, for us, the second reaction is slow reaction and the first one is our faster reaction. Correct? If this is a faster reaction, what we can compare that rate of first reaction, what I will write is rate of first reaction is greater than rate of second reaction, isn't it? And with this, we can define the rate of reaction in two different ways. The very first is differential rate, okay, which is also known as instantaneous rate, or the secondly we can give is average rate. Okay, and how these are given? Let us see over here. The instantaneous rate, you can see two graphical plots in which the very first involves reactant concentration and in second we are having product concentration, which have been plotted against the time coordinate. How these are done? Let us see. For that, if I draw a plot of concentration of reactant versus time, reactant concentration at time t is equal to 0 will be the maximum, correct? From maximum it will keep on gradual decreasing tending towards 0. To this graph, if I plot a tangent, this tangent will be having a slope, and slope we know that it is given as what? y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1. But what is present on our y-axis? This is reactant concentration, correct? So, change in concentration upon x2 minus x1, this represents what? Time change. So, change in concentration upon change in time is nothing but slope, that is nothing but rate of reaction. So, student, what we understand from this particular is whenever I want to express the rate of reaction, how I can give it? I can give it in a graphical form representing slope y2 minus y1 upon x2 minus x1, but this represents nothing but dc by dt. What dc and dt stands for? Very smaller change in concentration to the very smaller change in time. Okay, but the question for all of us is whether it's really possible to calculate this smallest change at this smallest change in time. Answer is big no, correct? For that reason, how we can express the rate? We can express the rate in different way as average rate of reaction, which we call as average rate, and average rate is expressed as delta C upon delta T, that is nothing but C2 minus C1 upon T2 minus T1. Okay. So C2 and C1 represents what? Final concentration of reactant and initial concentration of reactant. T2, T1 indicates what? Final time minus initial time. So this is how two different types of rate of reactions are given. The very first one was differential rate, which is also called as instantaneous rate, whereas instantaneous rate or differential rate is quite difficult to measure, hence we express it as average rate. The next is rate law, this concept. What is rate law? As you can see over here, we have formed a mathematical equation for which small a, small b, small c and small d represents what? They represent stoichiometric coefficient of a given reaction. And we know that rate of a reaction, any chemical reaction, depends on concentration of reactants. So I have formed the expression rate of reaction is directly proportional to square bracket term indicates molar concentration. So concentration of A, concentration of B raised to what I have noted is X and Y, correct? That X and Y would be determined experimentally. Okay? So how I can explain it? If I consider reaction nitrogen plus 3 hydrogen giving 2NH3. For this reaction, how I can express the rate? Rate is directly proportional to concentration of first reactant, that is N2, concentration of second reactant, that is H2, but stoichiometric coefficient will be expressed in its exponent form, and this whole expression is then known as rate law. So how we can define this? Rate law is a mathematical expression in which molar concentration terms of reactants are raised to their stoichiometric coefficient. Okay, but our next topic of discussion is going to be the rate constant, which is usually expressed as K. If I am having rate is proportional to A raised to X and B raised to Y, and if I put special case, if concentration of A is equal to concentration of B, which is equal to exactly 1 molar, that is unity. Okay, so after substituting this 1 molar value in this concentration term, what we will be getting is that rate is proportional to 1 raised to X, 1 raised to Y, whatever X and Y could be. Finally, we will be getting rate is equal to K. After removal of proportionality sign, what we will be having is a rate constant. So rate constant can be defined as rate of reaction only. But what is the condition? Concentration of reactant must be exactly 1 molar only. That 1 molar value is also known as what is something called as unity. Okay. Further, we will move to the concepts of molecularity and order of reaction. Over here, molecularity and order, and before that we will be going through an integrated rate law. Usually integrated rate law is expressed for the first order as well as zero order reaction, and how it is? Let us see over here. We are having one theoretical reaction in which reactant A is giving the product. For this reaction, if I want to express differential rate to be given, I can give it as dA by dt with negative sign, that is concentration of A is decreasing. It is directly proportional to the concentration of A, isn't it? So minus of dA by dt is equal to, after removal of proportionality sign, what we will be having is rate constant k into A, correct? But on rearranging, what we will be having, I will bring down this A term over here and I will be having minus of dA by A is equal to k into dt, correct? But as the name of this particular topic is integrated rate law, integrated rate law means what? This particular equation which is in differential equation form, students, we need to integrate this between few limits. So we will be integrating dA by A, correct, between the limits A0 to AT. Now what is A0? A0 is our initial concentration, that is at time t equals to 0, and AT is our final concentration or concentration at any other time instant t. Similarly, negative sign I will transfer over here, minus of k being constant will come out of the sign, integral 1 into dt between the limits t equals to 0 and t equals to t. Now, what are these forms? dA by A is nothing but 1 by x into dx. Its integral will come out as log to the base e of A between limit A0 and AT, which is equal to minus of k integral of 1 into dt is simply t with the limits t0 and t equals to t. Now we will substitute these limits. On substitution, we will be getting log of E AT minus log of E A0, correct? Which is equal to minus of k t minus 0. Log A minus log B, what is exactly the form? It is nothing but log to the base E of A upon B, isn't it? Similarly, minus of k into t we will be having. Now, the question to think is, rate constant can be very small, like 2.2 into 10 raised to minus 33, minus 43, minus 54, etc. 10 raised to minus 53 means still the number is on positive side of the number line, but k can never be negative. And to cancel this negative sign, I will change this term as log to the base e of A0 upon AT, which is equal to KT. I have removed negative sign, but I have changed numerator and denominator. So, I have cancelled minus sign, negative sign over here by exchanging numerator and denominator. Now, I will be having expression for K as 1 upon T log to the base E of A0 upon AT, but remember still the base of log is E and I want to change it to the decimal log, students. So, to convert it into decimal log, I will multiply this equation with factor of 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 of concentration of A0 upon concentration AT, which is equal to k, and this is our expression for integrated rate law of first order reaction. But consequently, we will continue with this only. Suppose at time t equals to 0, I am having concentration A0, and after certain time I found the concentration has reduced to exactly half of initial. Whenever concentration of reactant reduces to half of its initial, time taken is known as half-life period. Okay. So, half-life period can be derived as when T becomes T half, okay, concentration AT becomes A0 by 2 and we will substitute these two values in expression of k. So for that, k becomes 2.303 upon, instead of t I will substitute t half, log 10 a naught upon, instead of at I will be substituting a0 by 2. a0 will get cancelled. Log of 2 will come in upper side, which will be 2.303 upon t half log 10 of 2. Log 10 of 2, I will be saying the value of log 20 in log table, which will be 2.303 upon t half log 10 of, actually it is 20, correct? But it will become 2.303 upon t half into log to the base 10 of 2. It is nothing but 0.3010, and overall factor becomes 0.693 upon t half, which is equal to k, or what I can write is t half, half-life period becomes 0.693 upon k, isn't it? So this is how we will be deriving expression for half-life period and integrated rate law, but we have derived this for only and only first order reaction. As you can see over here, this is the expression we have obtained. K is equal to 2.303 upon t log to the base 10 of a naught upon a t. Okay. Extending this, we will come across with the half-life also. Okay. And this is a graphical plot where log a naught upon a t have been plotted against time, and you can see this is the y-intercept that we have obtained, and the nature of graph is a straight line. Okay, it's a straight line having expression y is equal to mx plus c. Y is log of a naught upon a t. This will be having a slope m. X is our time factor, and what is c? C is this y-intercept. Okay, this is how we can explain the graphical plot for integrated rate law of first order. Further, if both the reactants and products are present in gaseous state, how it can be derived is something like this. Over here, we are having reactants and products, all of them are present in gaseous state of the matter. For that, at t is equal to 0, that is at initial timing, okay, what will be the pressure, students? Pressure, initial pressure will be denoted as Pi. This is Pi, correct? And each component, reactant and product, will be having its own contribution in total pressure. For that reason, pressure due to A will be represented as Pa. Pressure due to B will be Pb. Pressure due to C will be Pc. But as we know, when reactants get converted into the products, concentration and pressure due to reactant will keep on decreasing, and concentration and pressure due to product formation will keep on increasing. So we are assuming that concentration due to A is decreasing by quantity x. So what Pa at equilibrium? Pa at equilibrium would be Pi minus x, but whatever the pressure reduced for A, same will be the pressure formed due to both B and C, correct? And we know that total pressure P is nothing but Pa plus Pb plus Pc, and for this we are having for Pa, Pi minus x, for Pb, x, for Pc, x. One of the x will get cancelled and total pressure P will become Pi plus x, correct? Further, from P is equal to Pi plus x, from the same equation, as P is equal to Pi plus X, what we have derived, X is equal to P minus Pi. If I substitute X in the formula for PA, our formula for PA, if you remember, PA was Pi minus X. I have substituted for X as P minus Pi. On solving the bracket, the total value becomes 2Pi minus P, and integrated rate law was our A naught upon AD. Instead of concentration term, we are going to substitute it with initial pressure and pressure at time t. So our expression would become K equals to 2.303 upon T log to the base 10 of, instead of A naught initial pressure Pi, instead of AT at time t, pressure will become 2 Pi minus P. But this expression will be used whenever reactants and products will be present in gaseous state of the matter. I hope this is clear to all of you. So, till now what we have derived is integrated rate law, half-life period, whenever reactants and products are present in gaseous state 2. But now we will come across half-life of zero order reaction. What is zero order reaction, students? Whenever rate of reaction is independent of the concentration of reactants, it is something called as zero order reaction. And for that, let us assume, let me clear this. I hope integrated rate law is very much clear to all of you. Based on that only, we are going to derive integrated rate law for first order. For that, if I am having A giving product and minus of dA by dt, that is differential rate for this expression, provided this is zero order reaction, it is independent of concentration of reactant, that is A raised to 0. Correct. The expression become minus of dA by dt is equal to K. Anything raised to 0 is 1. So what left is K, and minus of dA is equal to K into dt. In order to obtain integrated rate law, again we will be deriving or we will be integrating this between A naught to AT, 1 into dA is equal to minus K integral of 1 into dt between the limits t0 and t is equal to t. 1 into dA is simply A with limit A0 and AT minus of K t with limits t0 and t equals to t, and on substitution of these values, what we will be having is AT minus A0 is equal to minus KT minus 0, isn't it? So what left is AT minus A0 is equal to minus KT. But as we have discussed earlier, rate constant can never be a negative one. So in order to remove that negative sign, what I will do, K is equal to A naught minus AT upon T. I have exchanged these two. Correct? Based on this, if K is equal to A0 minus AT, half-life of zero order reaction at T half, what will be AT? AT is exactly half of its initial quantity. So K will become A naught minus A naught by 2 upon T, which becomes A naught upon 2K, provided this T is T half. Correct? This is half-life for zero order reaction. Okay? I hope this is very much clear to all of you. How to derive integrated rate law for the first order as well as zero order reaction. Okay? then we are having this pseudo first order reaction. And how it is derived as? First of all, what do you mean by pseudo? Pseudo stands for, students, false. So it is exactly, or initially, or basically it is higher order reaction, but it appears to be of lower one, for which methyl acetate ester reacting with water, but water we will consider in excess amount, okay, which will be giving us acetic acid and methanol. Rate law we will express it as concentration of methyl acetate, first reactant, concentration of water, second reactant, but from here both of the term raised to 1. So actual order of reaction would be 2, correct? But if we have taken water in excess amount, concentration of water will remain constant practically. That will be denoted as K double dash. So rate will become K dash, that is usual rate constant, into K double dash, that is concentration of water remaining constant. What we will be left with, rate is equal to, depends on concentration of ester only, from where we can conclude that it is of first order, but actually it was of second order. So how we will describe this reaction? Reaction which is actually of higher order but appears to be of lower one, it is known as pseudo first order reaction, okay. I hope these are very clear to all of you. What we have studied till now is rate of reaction, which is of two different types: instantaneous rate, that is something called as differential rate. Further, we have studied average rate. Average rate is usually given for each and every chemical reaction that we came across, because for us as an observer, instantaneous rate is quite difficult to measure or to calculate. Hence, we give or we express average rate of reaction. Our last topic of discussion is going to be order and molecularity. Usually, molecularity is given for elementary reaction. And what is elementary? Elementary is the simplest reaction which cannot be simplified further. And molecularity is number of reactant molecules taking part in an elementary reaction. For example, if I write N2 plus 3H2 giving 2NH3, I cannot simplify this reaction further to any extent, because if I am going to simplify, I will have fraction in our balanced chemical reaction. And remember, elementary reaction does not involve any of the fraction. For that reason, total number of molecules 1 plus 3, isn't it? So total molecularity for this reaction is going to be 4. But molecularity can never be a 0, because if there is no reactant, no reaction will occur, correct? After molecularity, what is order? Usually, order is nothing but number of reactant molecules on whose concentration rate of reaction depends. But let's say 2A plus 3B giving 2C, I will write rate is proportional to A raised to 2 and B raised to 3, isn't it? What I will describe is order of this reaction with respect to A is 2, with respect to B is 3, and overall order of this particular reaction is 5. What I did? I have summed up these two exponents. So overall order is nothing but summation of the exponents in the rate law, or it can be expressed with respect to individual reactant, correct? So this much part of chemical kinetics is there for your board exam 2021. I hope whatever we had seen is very much clear to all of you. Stay tuned with the Study Life. Thank you.